Right there, my friends, and welcome back. Steve here with eXp Realty. Today we are sitting in downtown Ocala, taking in some of the views and some of the peaceful settings. In this next video segment, we are going to touch base on some obstacles that actually cause real estate deals to fall apart. Now, this is one painful aspect of the business that nobody really likes to come to terms with, but in some cases, it just is what it is, and inevitably, some things aren't meant to be. So stick around these next couple of minutes as we will roll through these together. All right, so yes, my friends, as mentioned, thanks for tuning in, checking out the videos. As always, a pleasure to have you. Steve here with eXp Realty. So what are some of the obstacles that are faced with real estate deals unraveling at the seams? Well, for one, starters, is the home inspection. So you've went out shopping, you found the new home that you want to try to pursue, you've come to terms with the other party, and now it's where the rubber meets the road. The first biggest thing that's going to come up is your home inspection period. Now, essentially, you're going to have somebody go in, check out the home, and at this point, this is where the motivation and emotions of both parties come together. There might be a couple of things that pop up with the home inspection. There might be a whole lot of things that pop up with the home inspection. The best advice I can give you at this point is to focus on the big ticket items. Try to overlook some of the cosmetics or the minuscule things that you might be able to get in and change upon occupying the home. However, on the flip side of the coin, if you are on the selling side of the transaction, you definitely don't want to seem stingy when it comes to buyers making requests for things on your home. In some cases, something may need to be repaired, something may need to be serviced or brought to working order. Here's the thing, you want to work together and you want to set the tone for a smooth transaction. It's only fair that everybody plays ball. Granted, some give and some take is going to be different across every transaction, but the best rule of thumb is to work together to move things forward. That way everybody gets what they want. The next biggest thing when it comes to obstacles in real estate transactions is closing costs. So this is actually a common circumstance. Now, here's the thing with closing costs, they are not always set in stone. They can change. Perhaps maybe there was a work history that didn't check out as such, or maybe there was an income tax return that wasn't recorded properly. This is a great one. Definitely one of the things that you don't want to do upon approaching the finish line of closing out a deal is spending any money that you weren't supposed to. And by this I mean financing maybe a new vehicle or maybe a new house full of furniture upon getting into your new home. Anything that you do that could affect your debt to income could hinder the deal and cause things to fall through. One of the other instances I've seen is in some cases lenders will make mistakes and give you wrong numbers. I see this more typically with the online-based lenders and those that have not as good a communications as you would maybe from somebody local. That's why it is so important, if you are buying in the area, get established with somebody that you can trust and somebody that is very well versed in the area that they are servicing. The third biggest item in the obstacles when it comes to deals falling apart in real estate transaction is the appraisal. So you've come to terms, you've got past the home inspection, you're on your way to the home stretch. Well, the next biggest obstacle is going to be the appraisal. So to give you some insight, let's say you're buying a home at $500,000 and the appraisal, which determines the value for that home, only comes in at $485. Well, that's quite a bit of a chunk, and knowing that the lender isn't going to give you $500,000 when the home's only worth $485 presents a problem. Now, there's a couple of things that can happen here. Now, both parties can renegotiate a set of terms that is equal across the board and still gives each party what they want, or in some cases, that may be the end of things. This is a more difficult one to overcome than others, but nonetheless, it's something that can be smoothed out and worked out, considering the circumstances. One thing too to consider is with the seller having expected a certain amount of funds to get from the sale of their home, they may not have enough equity in order to move forward going where they need to go. So definitely something that you want to be aware of. The next biggest obstacle when it comes to real estate transactions is liens against the title. Now, this can be a particularly tricky one, as in some cases you'll have no foresight of this becoming a factor. Now, what I mean by this is if the seller has lived in a home and at some portion of time did not pay income tax, essentially when they sell the home and they receive the proceeds from that sale, they are then going to have to pay. The next biggest obstacles when it comes to real estate transactions is liens against the title. Now, this can be a particularly tricky ordeal, as in some cases as a buyer, you won't even see this coming until a title search comes back on the property. Now, to give you an example, let's say a seller lived in a home, didn't pay income taxes for 2 or 3 years, and then kind of went on about his way. Well, when it comes time to sell the home, they are essentially going to take some of the proceeds from what he netted in the sale, and it's going to be applied to whatever balance was outstanding, whether it be, again, income taxes or any type of service that may have been rendered on the property at one point or another. Essentially what this does is this now takes a seller from expecting what he was going to get out of a property and changing those numbers. So if you are on the sell side, it is very important to communicate any type of liens or encumbrances that may be affecting the title to your property with your agent. That way you know what to fully expect when going through a transaction. The next biggest obstacle up on the list is buyer's remorse. Now, this holds true especially in fast-moving markets. So let's say you find a home, you get locked in under contract, and 2 weeks down the road, you happen to notice your dream home become available. Well, it's going to definitely make you question your whole getting into contract on this other home now because you've seen that one available. The best advice I can give you in this instance is stop looking for a home once you've gone under contract. You don't want to be taunted or tempted at anything aside from you getting in the home that you have secured and your plans moving forward on that home. In some cases, some people think that the grass is greener on the other side. Well, what you can do to get out of this home to pursue that home may not work out, and then you'll be out of both homes. So definitely take that into consideration when looking. The next biggest obstacle, and the last one on the list today, is contingencies. So what I mean by this is if you are buying a home, but you have to sell your home, that is in fact a contingency that you will be entering into the transaction with. This is where things can get a little tricky, and clear communication across the board is essential. In some cases, if you have somebody buying your home that has to sell their home, have your agent reach out to that buyer's lender. Make sure that all their I's are dotted and their T's are crossed, as you don't want anything popping up as you narrow down the finish line of your real estate transaction. As mentioned, clear communication is essential. Do your due diligence throughout the process and have your agent do theirs as well to guarantee the smoothest possible path. As real estate professionals, we try to do our best to ensure the smoothest transaction possible and to be proactive when any issues do arise. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So there you go, my friends. As mentioned, if there's anything I can provide further information on in this video or in anything else regarding real estate here in Central Florida, drop a comment below, send me a message. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. As always, thanks for tuning in, checking out the video, and we will catch you guys on the next.